for a man and a woman to come together, make a baby, they split up, but you're saying that it's only the baby mom in this case. That's a baby dad too. So it's just like this stigma that we have against women where it's like, you're a baby mom, but somewhere in the world there's a baby dad who oftentimes not even taking care of his kids. But why are we not talking about that? Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynisha Renee here. I have my girl Tara here. We are back with another video. And today, child, we are going to be discussing Black family dynamics. Ooh. I think that this has been a very hot topic lately. And the inspiration behind this video was the whole McDonald's situation, okay? So for those of you who are unaware, it did come out as being like a false skit, like it was planned, all that stuff. But it opened up a lot of dialogue. So a man came, he brought McDonald's for his child, the baby mom who he is not with in a relationship. She has kids by other men, and she was criticizing him. She exposed him for not bringing food for all of her other children. So we're gonna be talking about that. Should that be something that's expected? How does this tie into Black family dynamics? We're gonna get into all that.
I'm just so excited to be here, but this is a great dialogue that is necessary for the Black community.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'll start with my standpoint, which I feel like my opinion might be a little unpopular-ish. We'll see.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, so in that situation, I guess the starting point is, do I feel like it was his obligation to buy food for kids that weren't his? I would say no. If he opted to do that, then obviously I think that that's a kind gesture. But I know that a lot of people felt like that was kind of like a sign of the problem that we have within our community, where we don't have a village mentality, where we don't feel like all children should be taken care of. And I agree that that's a problem, but I think that we are directing that way of thinking to the wrong person. Because if we're talking about a village, first of all, where are the children's father? That's number one. Like, why is he not taking care of the kids? But aside from that, where are his family members? Where are her family members? Where is her village supporting her? And I think that's something that we really lack in this community, because with other cultures, like even if something as simple as finding a babysitter, a lot of people be like, I can't find a babysitter. Hispanic cultures, Asian cultures, kids are going with their grandparents. They already know what time it is. They might even all live in the same house. They have more of a collectivistic thing, and we're so individualized. And so I think that's the big thing that we need to be talking about.
Yes, because right when we turned 18, we had to move out of our mama's house.
Exactly.
Move out of parents' house. Why shouldn't we like be a tribal in this and living together?
I would say I was around like 21, and you would start to see this shift where it was like, okay, if you're still living with your parents, something is off. But then as someone who's been on their own for a little bit, it's like, damn, I probably could have stayed home, because if I would have stayed home, I could save money to put a down payment on a house. You know, you would be better off financially. But we've normalized this sense of detaching from your family and struggling, and we see that as independence.
Struggling.
Yeah, out here struggling.
We all are struggling instead of staying with our families that brung us into this world. We really think like it's not a flex to be with your family.
Exactly.
Like it's really looked down upon.
Now that I have a more mature mindset, if I could have an ideal home situation, I would have a very big house. I could have my wing, because I still like my space now. I have my wing, my mama have her wing, my sister, they can have their wing, but we're still all together. But I don't think that a lot of people think like that.
No, it's really not realistic, especially in this time era that we're in. Yeah. That we all have separate houses and we all have separate everything, when we should be smart in this capitalistic society. Like, let's come together. Okay, you got this bill, I got this. It helps everybody in the long run. But
I think another overarching thing that we know is an issue in our community is this dynamic of fathers not being involved. So when it comes to being a single parent, who's at fault here? Is it mostly the man in this case, or is there some responsibility on the woman for choosing a man who has those qualities to abandon his kids?
They always tell women, choose better, do better. And I'm like, it takes two to tango though. Yeah. A man is actually dumping his semen inside of her. He don't feel that coming out of himself?
Of course he does.
Okay, just making sure.
He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
He just doesn't care. Yeah. So the fact that we're just allowing the carelessness, the foolishness, now we're just creating foolish little kids. We're not doing the kids justice, bringing them into this dynamic of baby mama and baby daddy.
This is why I think I'm very adamant on, I don't want to have kids until I get married.
Yeah.
Now I want to preface this by saying I have heard stories where women have been married and the husband still leaves the family. So it definitely still happens.
Acting for that long.
Exactly. But I would feel more better about it. Like, okay, this person has seen me as a a person that they want to have a higher level commitment with. I gotta be confident with that. But a lot of people, like, you come out here, you're not on birth control, you having raw sex with people, and then it's like, oh shoot, this person has now turned into a different person once I had a child. Which I don't really know if that's a thing. I feel like those are qualities that were probably already existing in that person. They either overlooked it or they didn't get to know that person well enough before they had a child, and now it's coming out to play. So I think that's something that as women we could do better with, this notion of taking your time, especially if you're giving somebody your body without having protection.
It is so serious having that huge level of commitment when it comes to sex. I feel like sex is a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
It creates life. It really develops other type of feelings. I feel like sex complicates things.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely.
Now we like, what are we?
Yes, most times it's never just sex.
No, casual sex does not exist over here.
Right.
If we have sex, we go together.
So the people who were saying, and I mean, y'all can chime in here too, for those of you who felt like the man should have taken care of those kids, my question is, because I know I like to be balanced, right? So I try to do both sides. What do you feel that the woman in this case should be doing to assist the man? If it's his responsibility to take care of his child and hers, what is she doing to make sure his household is taken care of? You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all gonna be in that space, y'all might as well just cohabitate. Is she helping him by, when she does get her food stamps, is she sliding some food his way? Is she making meals for him? Like, what is that?
All of that was ghetto. And I hope everybody that saw this interaction of fighting over McDonald's realized how terrible this society is going down with this baby mom, baby daddy culture. Because y'all fighting over McDonald's because y'all are having reckless sex with people who you don't even see a future with. I would not want to have these problems.
No,
it's like,
absolutely
I'm
not.
fighting over McDonald's?
Right. But it's like so many layers to this, because then we can even go into, and I know this might rub some people the wrong way, but we gonna go there anyway. If you are in a financial predicament where you gotta rely on food stamps and you're feeding your kids McDonald's, which is literal garbage, let's start there. It's not a healthy balanced meal. It's been proven to be very much garbage. Why do you have multiple kids? Like, you ain't realize after the first kid, like, my finances kind of fucked up. After the second kid, you ain't realize that the third one, you still keep going, and you're relying on government assistance. And it's like, are you making a wise decision at that point to keep raising your kids in poverty? But that's the thing, we've normalized poverty in the Black community. This is the type of environment I don't want to raise my children in.
You're not even stable enough to raise kids.
Exactly.
Like, we're normalizing asking people why they don't want kids, but we should ask people, why are you genuinely having kids if you can't even afford yourself? Nobody's ever asked that question. Why do you have all these kids, ma'am?
Right.
And especially if they're with all these different men. Why are you having all these kids?
Exactly.
I literally saw somebody on TikTok has like 6 kids with 6 different people. Dang, it took you 6 times to learn this lesson. All these stuff is lessons, y'all. And we have to learn quickly so we don't get ourselves in these turmoil situations with other people.
Yeah.
These are lessons.
Yes.
Like, you have to learn 6 times with 6 different people that sex wasn't a game.
Right. So somebody wrote a comment and they were saying that the rate of Black baby mamas is higher than Black baby dads. How is it possible for a man and a woman to come together, make a baby, they split up, but you're saying that it's only the baby mom in this case? That's a baby dad too. So it's just like this stigma that we have against women where it's like, you're a baby mom, but somewhere in the world there's a baby dad who oftentimes not even taking care of his kids. But why are we not talking about that?
Everybody has been hurt by a man. Let's be real. We all have been hurt by a man. Even men have been hurt by a man, by their dad. And seeing that men are not taking accountability, men aren't able to truly take accountability, so we all rely on women. That's why I try to hold women to a higher standard, because I feel like we are truly the closest people to God. Like, we have the closest spiritual, like, we're so tapped in from our intuition and like knowing like the future and knowing when the feelings are just like, we know stuff like underlay, like we really tapped in, but we just get off course when it comes to like love sometimes, being sidetracked. And that's why I just hold us to a higher standard, because we really have to raise up men, because they really don't see the they don't even know what accountability is. They're like, no, it's all on the women, even though it takes two people to have sex. Even though I placed my semen inside of her, like, everybody's making choices here. Everybody could have said no. So, but no one is gonna take accountability, but we're gonna rely it all on the woman because we see her womb, we see the power she holds, the life she gives.
So this kind of ties into this notion, because I know that people are gonna say this in response to what you just said. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. They should control sex. To an extent, yes, that's true. Like, obviously, unless it's forceful, we can say, no, you can't enter my body. That removes the accountability from the man. I just feel like there's always an excuse to remove accountability from men.
So how should we hold them accountable?
You know what? I'm gonna give people one child. One child could have been your
one
mistake.
Child? You giving them?
You got a one child. And that's being generous. You got one child to realize, okay, I fucked up in this situation. This is what I need to look out for. These are the signs of a man who might not take care of his children.
You a blessing, sis, cause being a baby daddy,
no. So I'm saying with women, how do we hold this standard? You learn from your mistakes. But if you keep making that same mistake again, and this is a life that you're bringing into this world, so it's not only impacting you. Black fathers abandoning their children. Where do you think this is coming from? And how can we get this to stop happening?
I feel like a lot of black men have to stop being so much of a coward. Like, have the courage to just step up to the plate and, like, handle their responsibilities, because it is scary bringing a kid into this world. And really, you don't even have yourself figured out. So I know why you'll run away. Hey, that's why I don't have kids, because that's a lot of responsibility. The destiny of this child relies on you. A lot of people can't handle that responsibility because they can't even be responsible for themselves.
A lot of people walk into parenthood, and I see this a lot because I have people who comment on my video and they've done the things, they've lived their life, they've gotten married, they've had kids, and then they're like, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have kids.
Literally.
Like, the people still say that, even though they did all the things.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, but I also think that it's a cycle. It either goes two ways when a man has a father who isn't present. Some men are like, I'm gonna be the best father I can be to make up for what my father didn't give me because I knew what was missing. And other men, unfortunately, they just repeat the same cycle. Even just stepping outside of parenthood, a lot of times we try to escape generational traumas, and it's like we run in a circle. It's like a rat wheel. Like, you think you're exiting what your parents were, and oftentimes it circles back around and you repeat those same behaviors.
So why are we not giving credit to the woman that took accountability? Like the single mama that stay with your butt, like, she's right in front of you. Your mama didn't leave you, didn't abandon you. How is she not taking accountability? Because she's stuck with you. She stayed with you. She's raising you. Your dad ran off on the plug.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that I was gonna say something, but then I had to have a moment of reflection with myself and say that's not true. What I was going to say is that I think that's why a lot of men, or even women, like, they respect their mom so much, but I feel like I see it more in men, because it's like she stepped up and she took two roles in a sense. They love their moms in a different type of way because of that. But I can also understand the people who have resentment toward their mothers for that. I told you about my parents. Granted, my mom wasn't necessarily a single mom. It was more complicated, but because my dad had issues, it's like, why did you even choose to procreate with this person? Like, this is a person who was unstable in multiple different ways, and you chose to have a baby. You had me with this man, and now you passed this trauma on to me, and I'm pissed at you for that. Because you didn't make right decisions.
Really can't win having these kids, like, for real.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing them into trauma, regardless of you unconsciously not aware of it, especially if you're not even together with them.
So then I guess the next thing is, what is the solution? What is a healthy way for a father to be involved? And I'm going to use an example because I know this is controversial. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon has impregnated, I'm going to say, at least like 8 or 9 women at this point.
Wow.
Multiple different single parent homes. And a lot of people, they judge him for that. Like, he gets a lot of pushback from that. But then I was looking into it a little bit more, and I was reading an article, and they were basically like, because he has so much money, he has the flexibility to be with his kids more than a person who might work a 9 to 5. So his perspective was, the time that you spend in this 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, that's the time that I'm able to spend with my kids because I've set my lifestyle this way. And we have like family setups, or we spend time with each other. So you're judging me, but I'm still present in my kids' life. So the question is, what is a healthy way for a man to be present in a kid's life? And why is it that when we take somebody like Nick Cannon, now one thing I will say about Nick Cannon, he ain't really procreating with melanated women, okay?
Right.
So I know that's something that a lot of people have issue with, I get that.
But I'm glad he leaving black women out.
Right, exactly. Leave is that a problem that he's doing that, or what is the proper way? Is it wrong for a man to be more of like a polygamous type of thing? Because a lot of men are saying, you know, it's realistic at this point, y'all should expect polygamy. But then we have someone who's practicing that at this point, like he has a polygamous relationship with all these women. So what is the correct way?
I really think it's better for the kids to see like a two-parent in their household together. I think it's more healthy and it's just more balanced to see that. I feel like Nick Cannon, especially like hearing his health stages though, like I hope you're aware you're passing that still on to like
like with the lupus and okay, yeah, I get that.
And I'm just like, why are women signing up for this though? Like, I understand Nick Cannon is so charming and probably, you know, you can be head over heels, but realistically, ain't no way a man with 8 kids and 8 different women gonna spread out his time equally. It's really unfair on the kids, like, because we should not be having kids for our own motives and our own egotistical reasons. We should really want to have kids for the betterment of their future, not just because of what I want to do.
Do you think that people are having kids for that reason?
Oh yeah. Like, have you ever
for the betterment of their future, or do you feel like it's more selfish thing?
Oh, it's all selfish. Have you ever heard people, the reason why people want kids?
I have.
What's
and a lot of times, and I've spoken on this before, I feel like a lot of people have kids because they want to feel unconditional love with someone. And to me, that's the most selfish thing that you could do. Like, you weren't loved properly, so now you brought this being into this world where you feel like you basically want to have a codependent relationship with them. Because let's be real, and that's why a lot of parents, they struggle to separate from their kids when they get older because they don't have that identity for themselves.
Wow.
And that's a problem. Like, you don't want to teach your kids codependent type of love, but that's what people do.
That's why it's like we have all these like mama dudes that are mamas. What do they call them?
Mama's boy?
The moms low-key was dating their sons. Like, you low-key the version of your daddy. I'm just gonna date you but not have sex with you low-key.
Oh, but oh my God, if you're gonna go even deeper into these family dynamics, one thing that somebody said on one of my videos, and it stuck with me, was that single moms raise their sons to be the man that they wish their father was. And the perspective of this man was that he felt like that was a disadvantage for him because the woman, as much as we like to say that we can do it all, you can't teach a man how to be masculine. Like, you can't do it. It's something that you have not really properly, I said properly done, because a lot of women are masculine, but it's because they're wounded, right? In a healthy masculine way, you can't teach that. You're teaching him what you think it means to be a man or love a woman from a woman's perspective. And a lot of men struggle with that because it's like, you feel, again, that you've done your role and you've raised me to be this way, but this is not what women are actually looking for. So they get out here and they try to date or marry, have kids, and they're struggling. Single mothers in the relationship that they have with their daughters versus their sons.
Oh my goodness.
Woo, baby!
Girl, it was hard on us. We had to make sure the house was clean, cooked. Like, we had chores, we had duties.
Yeah.
As being a daughter, we have so much high expectations. It's like the men, they were just coasting. No wonder why they are very underdeveloped. They don't even know how to cook for real.
Yeah.
Because everybody was doing so much stuff for them.
And it's like this internalized type of hatred that a lot of women have toward their daughters. And I think it's like a lot of it has to do with jealousy. Like, they're secretly jealous, especially if you see a mom, if she was a young single mom and then they have a daughter who's thriving, like she's living her life. A lot of women kind of see that and they're envious because it's like, you're doing all the things that I wish I could have done. Yes. So I'm secretly channeling that frustration I have on you.
That's real.
Yeah.
Why would they be jealous though when they decided to choose that route for themselves?
It's twisted. Till we can start to be truthful about all of those underlying things, which again, we have been a proponent of therapy. Like, we push therapy over here. Counseling is so important. But all of those underlying things tie into the dynamics that we have with our parents. And that in turn impacts the way that we behave when we're in relationships and then when we have children. From the outside looking in, since we know you don't expect to have kids, what would be a good parenting philosophy?
I love the gentle parenting era that we're in, and like the conscious parenting, allowing the kid to have a say-so, like allowing a kid to express themselves. It's no hierarchy position, because I realize low-key, the kids are the boss of the parents. Like, you're gonna do what the kid wants to do at the end of the day. If the kid don't want to go to sleep, they're not gonna go to sleep. If the kid don't want to eat that, they're not gonna eat that. Like, you have to go along with the kid's routine. So listen to the kid, because they're really, you called them into your life to raise you up to be more mature, because you wasn't mature.
Speak on it. Well.
These kids about to teach you patience, about to teach you how to be kind, about to teach you motivation, about to just teach you how to really be mature. And that's why a lot of parents be like, oh, I needed my kid to teach me motivation, teach me love. You could have already felt that and learned that, but you had to call a kid into this existence to teach you these lessons. But you can always learn all of those lessons that I just named without having a kid, though.
God damn, that was a mouthful. I would say my parenting philosophy, definitely listening to your children. A lot of people, even with the eating thing, like some kids will be like, I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore. You want to finish all that on your plate? And it's like, but a child has a certain appetite, so understanding who they are as a person and that they're not gonna like everything. As an adult, you don't like everything. Understanding that they're a human and you're helping to mold them and develop them along the way, instead of instilling this fear dynamic, like, you have to listen to me, I don't care what you say, I'm the parent, you do whatever I say, because then when they get older, they don't see you as a person that sees them as an equal, so they're not gonna share things with you.
The kids are the closest to the spiritual realm. So please be intuitive and listen to them.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this discussion, be sure to show love to my channel and Tara's channel. And if you want to see more dope content like this in the future, be sure to like, comment, and share. It lets us know that you're vibing with the content. And it also does the algorithm a favor, okay? Support your favorite Black content creators. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video.